What does it take to build a career when every step forward comes with a trade-off? When choosing training means losing wages? When choosing stability means rearranging childcare? And when choosing your future means risking the little security you have today? In New York City, opportunity doesn't usually arrive all at once. It arrives in pieces. A shift here, a bill there, a decision you're not sure you can afford to make. This is This Robin Hood Moment, a podcast from Robin Hood. In this bonus episode, a companion to our conversation about the cost of losing your job, we hear from someone who understands what it means to work just to stay afloat. Tiphany is a lifelong NYCHA resident, a single mother, and now a property maintenance superintendent with the New York City Housing Authority. Her story isn't about luck. It's about endurance, about choosing forward motion again and again, even when standing still might feel safer. This is Tiphany's story. Tiphany grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. She moved around a lot with her adoptive mother before finally settling in Lafayette Gardens as a junior high school freshman.
So I grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. I moved around a lot with my adoptive mom, finally settling in Lafayette Gardens as a junior high school freshman, along with 5 other kids in which she cared for.
The community she grew up in was rough, and it left its mark.
The community itself was rough as far as gang members, drugs, etc. But, that is what shaped me.
She saw things no kid should have to see.
I would say I viewed, a couple of people losing their life. So that definitely gave me the mindset of by any means necessary, I have to elevate so that I can move out of here.
That mindset, by any means necessary, didn't come from ambition. It came from understanding what staying put could cost. At 22, Tiphany became a mother. And from the moment her daughter was born, her life began to orbit around a single promise.
Yes, I have one daughter. She's 22. She's a straight A student at John Jay, taking up criminal justice. So in about 1.5 years, I'll have a state police in the family. Yes, very proud of her. She has come a long way.
Being a single mother shaped every decision that followed.
Being a single mom, I kind of dedicated my life to ensuring that she doesn't have to go through the things that I went through.
That commitment wasn't abstract. It was intentional.
And I vowed, I took a vow, right after I gave birth, February 15, 2003, that I would excel at motherhood. It was something that I had to do. And I did it.
That vow became the lens through which every choice was made. Before training, before NYCHA, before stability, Tiphany was working jobs that offered no future.
So before I seen the flyer, I had a home, right? But I was working dead-end jobs. I was working jobs that, I wouldn't grow a pension with. I didn't have health care.
Then one day, something unexpected caught her eye.
So I'm taking out the garbage, and I come back in, and it's like this bright green poster. NYCHA hiring residents.
She stood there staring at it.
I stopped. I'm like, at first I couldn't believe what I seen. I said, wait a minute, NYCHA, they hiring residents? And, they got a program that they'll teach you the confidence. They'll teach you the hands-on skills. And I said, this is something I could do. I can do this.
That flyer wasn't a guarantee. It wasn't even a job offer. It was an entry point. What Tiphany was looking at was the NYCHA Resident Training Academy, a program created to connect public housing residents to careers within the New York City Housing Authority itself. The idea is simple, but rare. If you live in public housing, you already understand what it takes to keep these buildings running. With the right training and support, that lived experience can become a career, not just a job, but one with union protections, healthcare, a pension, and room to advance. Brooklyn Workforce Innovations helps facilitate that work, providing training and confidence building so residents aren't just placed into positions, but prepared to grow. And Robinhood helped launch and support the Academy across its training tracks, investing in a model that treats housing residents not as recipients of services, but as future leaders. For thousands of New Yorkers, the Academy has been a bridge from unstable, low-wage work to careers with security. For Tiphany, it was something else entirely. It was a decision. Enrolling meant risk. Training didn't replace Tiphany's responsibilities. It stacked on top of them.
The choices that I had to make weren't necessarily hard, but I knew that, I had to, it was just all about ensuring that I made the correct choices.
Correct didn't mean easy.
So choices as far as, do I pay my cell phone bill so my daughter could reach me in the case of an emergency, or do I buy that 2-week Metro card so that I could make it to training, or like sacrificing quality time with my daughter, like homework help after school, or do I stay an extra 30 minutes in training to make sure that I absorb all the skills necessary to be successful?
Then there was the commute.
I lived in Staten Island and my training was in Brooklyn. The commute, about an hour and a half one way. And I never missed one day. Never.
This is the cost of choice. Not one decision, but hundreds.
And I know that's, it could be kind of difficult for people. But for me, I just adopted the mindset, failures, it wasn't an option for me. It was me that she was dependent on. It was me who had to ensure her future. So I had to do it. It was just always yes. It was just always yes.
Training didn't just give Tiphany new skills. It changed how she saw herself.
I wasn't very confident when I started. I was the student at the back of the class, hoping and praying that, the teacher didn't call on me. And by the time I was finishing the program, I was in the front, and there were even some days where, I was like, lecturing the people in my class, like, listen, come on, guys, you can do this. You can do these skills. You can hone your skills. You can be great. And that's where, they helped me build that confidence and just gain the right skills.
She began to lead, and then she kept moving.
And so when I started my NYCHA journey, I started as a caretaker J. Those are the ones who clean the building, do the garbage. Within a year and a half, I went to caretaker I. Those are the people who work in the storeroom, like issuing supplies to the maintenance workers. 2.5 years of that, I went to HPT, which means heat and plant technician. So I worked in the boiler room, which I absolutely love. So I spent 2.5 years doing that. And then I seen a posting that said assistant superintendent for an exam. And I said, you know what? I could do it. So I took the assistant super exam, aced it. I was number 4 on the internal list for the New York City Housing Authority. That's when I took my first position at Woodson Van Dyke 2 houses in Brooklyn, go neighborhood 4. And from there, I spent 2.5 years. And then I seen the superintendent exam. And I said, I can do that. I can do that. That's my mindset. I can do it. So I took the superintendent exam. aced it, and now I'm here as a superintendent of Langston Hughes Apartments.
That upward movement, from cleaning buildings to running one, is exactly what the NYCHA Resident Training Academy was designed to make possible. Today, Tiphany oversees the kind of buildings she once lived in. She's responsible not just for systems and maintenance, but for people, for neighbors, for lives that look a lot like her own once did.
Being a superintendent, I automatically know what my residents need. I know their stories, I know their gripes, I know their frustrations because I've been there.
Living and working in NYCHA gave her a perspective few people have.
So living in NYCHA and now working with NYCHA, it kind of means to me full circle because, being a resident, you have all of these expectations of NYCHA and what it would look like for you. But now, being a superintendent, I automatically know what my residents need.
For Tiphany, this work is about more than a title. It's about stability and what stability makes possible.
I believe that stable jobs and stable homes are deeply connected with each other. They kind of reinforce the other. One reinforces the other so that you'll be able to create that foundation for financial, physical, and mental well-being.
That foundation changed everything.
Working for housing, I was able to have all of that. I was able to build 401k, a 457. I was able to open up my daughter a college savings plan. Whereas, working somewhere like Popeyes or something like that, you work really hard, but at the end, you don't end up with much.
For the first time, work didn't just cover the present. It protected the future.
From the very beginning, I was able to obtain all of those things that I never had before and still have a home.
And still, she keeps going.
So what's next for me is that I am preparing June 2026 to take the Building Superintendent Supervisor exam.
But the motivation hasn't changed.
And my daughter, Talia, she drives me. She drives me. She always has. She always will. She is the one that influences me to look ahead to the next chapter, to keep learning, to keep applying for exams and positions.
Because for Tiphany, this was never just about her.
To show her that you can do anything that you put your mind and your energy into, and you can achieve it. No matter how long the road or how tough things may be or how tough things may get, or even some people that will tell you you can't do it.
And when she speaks to people standing where she once stood, unsure, calculating risk, wondering if they can afford to try, she doesn't sugarcoat it. She tells the truth.
Take a chance, no matter how you feel. If you feel like you can't do it, or it's not worth it, or you may even think it's too late. Everyone has that inner strength and resilience. And I would just tell them, tap into that, and it will lead you to success.
This isn't motivational language for her. It's lived experience.
Jump right in. Take that giant leap of faith for yourself and your family. Always push yourself to the limits. And most importantly, don't give up. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Invest in yourself fully and you will be successful. And lastly, if the help is available, take it. If the program is open, enroll. It's up to you. Just believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it and just have that mindset that failure is not an option and you will make it.
Tiphany didn't just build a career. She built margin. She built security. She built a future sturdy enough to stand on and strong enough to pass forward. Her story reminds us that the hardest part of poverty isn't only scarcity, it's the risk built into every decision. And yet when access meets determination, when training meets courage, when someone is able to choose the future even while staying afloat, those choices can add up to something extraordinary. Thanks for spending time with us on this special bonus episode of this Robin Hood moment. If you'd like to hear the bigger picture behind Tiphany's story, listen to the companion episode, One Missed Shift Away from the Street. In that conversation, our hosts Kevin Thompson and Crystal Cooper talk with Brooklyn Workforce Innovation's Executive Director Aaron Shiffman about what happens when work disappears and why access to stable careers matters so much in a city like New York. I'm Corey Winter. My thanks to Kevin and Crystal for their editorial guidance and support in shaping this story, and to Aaron Shiffman and the team at Brooklyn Workforce Innovations for their partnership and for the work they do every day to help New Yorkers build real paths to stability. But most of all, I want to thank Tiphany for her honesty, her determination, and for trusting us with her story. Her choices, her perseverance, and her belief in what's possible are at the heart of this series. Thanks for listening and for being part of this moment.